Good morning, everyone. Trust in the Lord with all of thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Trust in the Lord with all of thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Oh, trust in the Lord with all of thine heart. Lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. It is to you I give the glory. It is to you I give the praise. For you have done so much for me, and I will bless your holy name. It is to you, Holy Father, no one else like you, and I will bless your name. Bless your name, and I will bless your name forevermore. Thanks, thanks, I give you thanks for all you have done. I am so blessed. My soul is at rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. I haven't changed the time. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to Sister Iris, Isaac's family. Great morning to you. Great morning. How are you doing, Miss James? My time is between 7 and 8. I try to be here between that time. I'll come a little earlier sometimes if I have something to do that's out of my control. Okay? Remember, say I have a full-time job, Remember, I had a full-time job. And sometimes, based on my job, I may have to leave out earlier than anticipated. So I may not be able to come at this time, but I try to come nonetheless, right? So sorry, so sorry. If you miss it, I always appreciate you watching the replay because you know that helps a lot. Good morning to you, Martin. How are you doing today? Good to have you. Good to see you. Good to see you. How is everybody? How was the weekend? My weekend was pretty good. It was pretty good. I didn't do a whole lot of work, so that makes it great for me. And how was your weekend? I went to church. It was good, and I got some rest. And I'm looking for a very packed week. This is the last week of the financial year, so there's so much trying to get done in work. But I am alive. I joined with Sister Iris this morning. I am alive. I am giving God thanks, and I am blessed. I am just blessed in the Lord for his faithfulness. I give him all the glory this morning and all the praise. All my senses seem to be intact, and I'm just grateful. No, we had started a series last week, and last week was just one of those weeks that I have been up and about, and my work schedule has changed up somewhat. And possibly this week, I may not be on tomorrow morning, but I'm not too sure as yet. Uh, but if I don't come on, I'll try to drop a video in. Right? Sister Iris said to me, Trina, drop something, man, even if you're not coming. So I try to do that. So really good to have all of you this morning. Hey Dan, how you doing, sir? How was your weekend? And we just want to go. We have 3 more to complete the series dealing with fear. So we're in part 4. First part, I think last week we talked about the fear of certain things, and we go through several of the other things. So check out the last 3 live stream, and you will see those in terms of what we spoke of. And I think in reading through this, I realized some of it somewhat overlap in terms of dealing with fear. So we're not going to be very long. So I'm just going to go straight through, and you can always, share your own thoughts and comment. So as soon as their feet touch the water, the river will stand up like a wall. That's according to Joshua 3, verse 13. So dealing with fear, part 4. As soon as they enter the promised land, the Israelites had to cross the river Jordan at flood stage. If you were to cross, would you attempt to cross, for those who are in Jamaica, would you attempt to cross, what's that river in Linstead? What's the name of that river again? Remind me, what's the name of that river? Yeah. Whenever it rains and the bank overflowed, you are given a strict warning not to cross it. Not to cross it. But if you see a river overflowing its banks from anywhere you are, would you attempt to cross it? And how would that make you feel? Would you feel afraid, or would you feel excited to cross it? Now, as children, when we were going to school and it rained, I don't know if you experienced this in your childhood. I don't think these nowadays kids do it. But when I was going to all age school at the time and it rained, we loved it. We loved it. So I want to hear from you. How would you feel if you see a river overflowing its bank? Would you attempt to cross it? So at the end of the day, one of the things for us as children, we would take off our shoes, take off our socks, put it in our bags, and we will go continue walk in the rain. And there was the gutter that they had that the water would flow through. We would put our feet like side by side, trying to say we are blocking the water. And then so each person would do it, and then person would just move, and you see the water just flow all the way down. I mean, I remember it like yesterday. It was just pretty excited. We had lots of fun where that is concerned. And so that is one of the things that we enjoyed as children growing up. But there are some rivers that you are told don't attempt to cross it because it's likely that it can wash you away. And we would have seen so many news of students coming from school, and not just students alone. We would have seen so many flood happening and person get washed away, lost their lives. I mean, that is really sad. The truth is, there's really nothing that we can use to stop water. What can we use to stop water? We can use water to stop fire. But what can we use to stop water? Sometimes the current will not look very heavy to you, and if you should attempt to go across it, it will wash you away. So for me, I will, flat bridge. That's what I was trying to remember. Flat bridge. Now, when we see the flat bridge overflowing its bank, we are told, do not attempt to cross it. We would have seen tons of people still try to cross it, even though they're told, don't try to cross it. Have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen it? You see it on the news. And what they have to do now, they have to put up some sort of safety net. So once the rain comes and they see that it's overflowing its bank, they close it off. Because even though persons are told, do not attempt to cross it, they still do it. I think the last video we saw was where somebody was attempting to open it up to go across it. I don't know if you had saw you saw that video clip on the news. They were trying to go across, saying their house is just down that way. But what about driving all the way around to protect your own life? It was put there for safety. It was placed there for safety, and some person don't even realize that it's for their own good. But these children of Israel, that they were attempting to cross River Jordan, were they afraid? Of course. Wouldn't you be afraid? Of course. Nonetheless, the only way they reached their destiny was to do the very thing they feared. And that's, I don't know, at the end of the day, the very thing we fear are the very thing that we have to do to get something done, to get us to that promised land, to get you to that goal. Natasha, good morning. Good to have you with us today. And yes, so at the end of the day, what you want to do, think about that thing that you fear the most. You're going to have to face it. Miss James, you're going to have to face it. That very thing you fear, you are going to have to face it. If you want to reach your goal, reach that destiny, you're going to have to step it in the face. You're going to have to walk through it. You're going to have to walk through it. You can't go around it. You have to go through it. So whatever your fear is, Orlando, whatever your fear is, Natasha, whatever your fear is, Dan, whatever your fear is, Sister Harris, you going to have to face it. Isaac's family, whatever you fear, you will have to go through it. We're going to have to face those fears. There are things for me that I fear. And I am learning to face them. I am learning to face. There's a song that says, I learn how to lean and depend on Jesus. He is the one. Nobody else can help me going through these things that I fear. Nobody. And I know I have to face the reality of the situations that I fear the most. In order for me to live a successful life, the things I fear the most, I have to face them. I have to stand up to them. So they too feared. When you let fear take hold, you become even more fearful and end up creating a cycle that works like this. So this is a cycle that fear can cause to happen in our lives. We create this cycle. Fear breeds more fear. Fear breeds more fear. So fear breeds lack of action. So that's number one. Fear breeds lack of action. Do you agree with me? Fear breeds a lack of action. So because you are fearful of this thing, you don't want to take action. And it's true. I know I'm talking the truth. You fear it, so you say, you know what? Let me just leave it alone. But sometimes you have to face it. You have to, for you to go over on the other side, you're going to have to face your fear. What is the giant you have in your life that you are so fearful of? Hmm? Fearful. Sometimes we need to just let go. We need to just let go and just step over, step through, right? Hold that thing by the head and say, listen, I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to cross over. So number one is fear breeds a lack of action. Number two, lack of action breeds lack of experience. So you see how they are connecting? Fear breeds lack of action. So you don't take action. What happens? It robs you of experience that you could have gained. So fear, it will stifle you. It will allow you to just don't take action. And when you don't take action, you lack experience. And for many of us, for us to help somebody, we have to tell them of experience, because don't come and tell me how to deal with a situation when you have little or when you have no experience in it. You have some person that want to give you counseling, how to take care of children, and they don't have any children of their own. They go maybe into a book and read up and they study and all of that. But for me, the person who I can relate the most to is the one who have that experience. If your heart has been broken and you said, you know what, me now go open my heart to nobody else, but you want to come and tell me how to get over mine, but yet still you have not gotten over yours, because you have said, you know what, I'm going to shut my heart, I'm not going to open it up to anybody else. You have no space. For me personally, you can actually advise other persons who will accept it, but I'm saying it's going to be difficult for me to accept it from me when you have no experience in that situation. You're coming to me with book knowledge. It's difficult. So I believe sometimes we go through some situations in our lives. I believe that it's one of the things that God uses to help show us or channel us into an era in our lives that He wants to use us. So if you lack action, then it means you're going to lack the experience. And if you hold fear to its face and say, you know what, I am going to take action, chances are the first attempt you make, you may not succeed. You may go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, but you are getting different and various experiences. So that is how it is connecting. So that's number two. And when you lack experience, it breeds ignorance. So you see, I love how they are connecting together. Fear breeds lack of action breeds lack of experience, and lack of experience breeds lack of ignorance. It breeds, not lack of, it breeds ignorance. I'm sorry. Fear breeds, lack of experience will breed ignorance. Not only having that knowledge, you don't know how to do it. And if you become ignorant, and ignorance, when you are ignorant to certain things, what happens then? What happens then? And the fourth point is ignorance will breed fear. So we come back to where we started. When there's ignorance, you will tend to have fear. She stole my thunder. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining. So you see, fear breeds more fear. Fear will breed more fear. So you see where we started from? Number one, fear breeds lack of action. Lack of actions breeds lack of experience. Lack of experience breeds ignorance, and ignorance breeds fear. And so it's important for us to take charge, right? It makes you afraid to do the very thing that will be beneficial to you. And you know it. You would have gone through it many times. I said, look, how I could have done this long time. I'm sit down here and fearful of it. Mm? You have to face your fears to overcome. Well said, Sister Aries. You have to. You have to. I know there are many things in our life that we dread, that we don't want to face. I said, Jesus, we don't want to face that. I don't want to face him. I don't want to face her. I don't want to face the situation. But you have to face it to overcome it. I can tell you from personal experience, there are many things that I fear, but until I was able to face them, until I was able to talk about them, I realized, oh my gosh, this has helped me tremendously. Mm-hmm. It has helped me because I was able to overcome them. So what you need to do, taking action means you'll have to move into the unknown and do it. Move into the unknown. And I know moving into the unknown can be very scary. Again, fear might take over, but you have to brace yourself and tell yourself, listen, girl, listen, guy, I can do this. Sometimes you have to say it out loud and clear so yourself hear yourself saying, I can do this. Step out, man. Step out and start living. We become fearful, and so because of the fear that we have, we do not live. Sometimes we are fearful of what people will say about us. People will call us all different names, and we are fearful. We don't want to go anywhere. We don't want to talk to anybody. We don't want to see nobody because of fear. It can be very scary. Going into the unknown, and this is how faith comes in, because faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So for me, if you're going to step out into the unknown, you have been experiencing, you are now putting faith into action. Because yes, it is scary. You have no clue what the outcome gonna be. But with faith, you are saying, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to live. I'm going to overcome this. Yes, I've seen it. Though it looks dark, but I'm going to go through that door because I know there's going to be light there at the end of the tunnel. There are many persons who migrate, and they're stepping into the unknown. They are stepping into uncharted waters. They have no idea. They don't know what is going to happen. And for me, I think for this person, you have to say thumbs up to you, because many of us would not do it, because he said we look for all the negative things that are happening around us, and we say, "Me not gonna go because of this, that. I'm not gonna make that step. I'm not gonna make that step." Mhm. One of the things I feared the most was taking a big loan from the bank. Fear. How am I going to pay back that money? How am I going to pay back so much money per month for this vehicle when I don't even see the first dollar? But faith tells me that you can do it. And that is what I trust. That is what I push ahead. So maybe there's something, maybe you need to take another step in your life. Maybe you need to do something that, you keep questioning yourself and say, I wonder if I really should do it. And you find all the negative. But can you just sit down, and I want you to write down all the positives for that situation, and write down all the negatives, and look on either side and see which side has the most, right? I guarantee you the sides with the positives will have the most, because many times the thing we fear, just want something, but the possibilities are endless when we go through with the list of positivity. If I should conquer this fear, if I should achieve this target, if I should achieve this goal, what will happen? Hmm? So, for example, you're going to say you're going to migrate. One of the things you might fear the most, going there, you might say, you might not be able to get out. Well, maybe you have a work lined up, but probably not having family and friends there. But when you start to name out all the positives that you can achieve through that, then you recognize that it's better. You may have been in a relationship too, and you got hurt, you got damaged and everything, and you shut down yourself. Well, you can say, I was starting to, why are you fearful of starting another relationship? You might say, well, I don't want nobody to hurt me again. Is that the only negative? Possibly. But what are the other positives that you have? You are there. You can share your life with somebody else. Having a family, having that great support. Having that security, right? Being able to achieve more. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. You want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. You achieve more when you have more than one party, right? So when you start to list the things, they be, you know, unending. So whatever we have to do to overcome this fear, I want to encourage you this morning. Try to overcome it. Yes, the unknown is scary, but don't allow that to stop you from living. Don't allow that to stop you from making the right step yard food. Overcome that fear. Make the first stop and trust God's step. I probably step you're making the first step and trust God, she said. Sister Ari says, make the first step. Yeah, man. Trust God in the process. It is scary, but with faith, you can kill fear. But if you give into fear, you won't move forward. You will not move forward if you give into fear. You don't receive the benefit of what you avoid, nor do you gain the value experience that will make make your life better. So let me say that again. If you won't move, if you give into fear, you won't move forward. You don't receive the benefit of what you avoid. nor do you gain the valued experience that will make your life better. Right? You want to make your life better? Want to make your life better? You're going to have to face your fears. Yes, I'm talking to you. You got to step out in that area. It says, as a result, let me go. As a result, you remain ignorant about that era of your life. And ignorance, as we said before, will breathe fear, more fear, making it that much harder to push ahead and get things done. Right? The worst danger we face is the danger of being paralyzed by doubt and fear. It's a wicked thing, man. If we become paralyzed with doubt and fear, we're in trouble. I hope none of you listening to me this morning are in trouble. I hope none of you listening to me are in trouble this morning because you are paralyzed. You want to start the business, but you find all the things to say, what if, what if, what if. So what? Step out into faith. Step over into and get into that unknown. Want to start a new job? Go for it. Want to start a YouTube channel? Go for it. The fear is nobody would want to listen to me. I guarantee you, everybody has something to say, and everybody has their own crowd. Every one of us do have it. So go ahead. If that is something that you would love to do it. You have many things that you do. You don't have to show your face like, oh, me love talk. Me love talk. I love it. But you may not be one that loves to talk. So you might want to share other things, or you may not want to show your face. You have so many things that you can do and offer. Morning, Michelle. Thank you for coming. So this morning, the worst danger we face is the danger of being paralyzed by doubt and fear. The danger is brought on by those who abandon faith. Somebody said, fear is the dark room where all negatives are developed. It's interest paid in advance on the debt you never owe. You may never owe. And it also undermines faith in yourself, in others, and in God. So don't undermine yourself. Don't undermine others. Don't undermine God. When you allow fear to take you over, that's exactly what you are doing. So this morning, I want to encourage you, step out in faith, trust God, trust the process. And guys, remember, living your best life ever will take you to move out in faith. Go into those waters that you never thought. Go out into the deep. That's where the nice big fishes are. Go out and capture them. Go out and conquer. Conquer your fear this morning. And don't undermine God. How true He has it. How True, he has it in his hands. Don't undermine him. I believe if that may not be what you think, you may not intentionally do that. But when you allow fear to stop you from doing certain things, that's exactly what you are doing. You have the power to change. You have the power to change the situation. You have the power in your hands and you're not using it. You have the power. I encourage you this morning as we close off, go out, conquer the fear. What is your fear this morning? What are you so scared of? We all have it, you hear me there, you talk up, talk up. Me have my one fear too. So me I talk to myself. I am being encouraged by my word. I am being encouraged. Sure you can. Sure you can. You can. At the end of the day, we need to recognize that we need to go out in faith. Good morning, Tina. How are you doing? We need to step out. Trina, you need to step out and conquer your fears. Conquer your fears as we trust in the Lord with all our hearts and lean not to my own understanding. So listen, at the end of the day, don't think I'm talking here and I don't have my own fears. Me have, and I have more than one too, and I'm working on taking those steps. I am working, and these words, they were just so timely to help me as I am too trying to face my own fears. I'm not telling you something that I have not experienced. I'm not telling you something that I have not gone through and possibly going through as well. I am saying, you can do this, girl. Trina, you can do this. You can do it. Conquer your fear by stepping out in faith. God bless you. God bless you. Go ahead, Dan. You can drop the link. You can drop the link, and you can check out the devotional. I'll just listen while I get ready for work. But go this morning, man. Go out today and live your best life ever. Start where you are and use what you have. God bless you. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. As I said, the possibility exists I may not be on tomorrow. But I drop a short video like I did the other day if I'm not able to be here. Sometimes I don't know in advance. Sometimes I know, like when I go to work, I may know today that I have a early tomorrow. So, but when I do know in advance, I always tell you. All right. So God bless you. Remember, pray one for another. One for another. And I'll see you again. Bye, everyone.